Alright class, today's project, lesson, whatever, if I decide to post this at all, will be taking the deck off of this John Deere. It's an L100. This tractor's probably about 35 years old. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. This will be the same as the LT150, oh Christ, there are a whole bunch of them. They're about the same. It's a 42-inch deck. The decks, I believe, are all the same for the 42-inch. Now, what we're going to be doing on this one is replacing the mandrel on the deck. There are two of them. And the original ones that are on there, I took them apart, got the numbers off the bearings, and then replaced the bearings. Now, I did that about 6 years ago or so, and as you can see, this side's spinning pretty freely. The other side's starting to lock up and make a whining noise pretty bad, and finally it's gotten to the point where it's getting hard to turn it by hand, and I don't want to burn up the belt. So I have to take the deck out from under this lawnmower to do this job. Or to do it, yeah, I mean pretty much you have to take the whole deck off. And we'll be doing that. And now the nice thing is that on the new ones, these have a zerk fitting, or a grease fitting, and I can pump them full of grease. Now usually I can make up a grease fitting for anything by drilling the hole and tapping it, you know, putting one in. And I didn't do it on these because the bearings that I got were completely sealed bearings, which is what it had in it originally. I'm hoping that these are caged bearings with only one side sealed, or the grease fitting is going to be for naught. So this side here, I'm just going to leave this cover off. I don't see why the hell they put it on there anyway, but I don't know, maybe if the belt flew off. Hard to tell. But I've got it set up on the wood things right now. Now I won't be filming this or videoing it while I'm doing it. To release it is basically a bunch of these clips here. Whoop, where'd that go? There it goes. A bunch of these clips that hold it together with washers and a pin going through. So it's not really that bad. And then you got to remove the control cable for raising and lowering. Or for engaging the blade, rather. The raising and lowering is done through the hinges back here. So that's going to be the project for today. Probably going to take me some time. This weather is very hot out here, and I'll film in steps as I go along, and maybe it'll help somebody with theirs. Now, I've welded and rebuilt and, you know, done this deck Lord knows how many times, but in all the time I've owned it, that's not a bad situation, you know, only rebuilding the mandrels one time, and now, and by the way, the reason I got the complete assembly is because the bearings last time around were about eight and change a piece, and they're probably a lot more expensive now, as everything is. Thank you, Joey Pito there. But these were on eBay, and I saw them back a few months back when I was looking for another part for the mower, and these were $30 a piece, $29.99, 30 bucks, plus the tax, of course, what you have to pay on eBay now. So I just ordered the whole assembly. It's got all new screws because a few of the old ones broke off when I took that apart last time. So everything will go back together again with anti-seize, because we've got dissimilar metals here. We've got steel bolts going into aluminum, which of course is going to create electrolysis. So all of these will get torqued. And I will look up the torque specs in my thread gauge thing, and we'll go from there. But of course the torque, once you lubricate a bolt, usually torque specifications are meant for a dry bolt, So you might want to go a little bit less than the actual torque. And I'll let you know what torque spec I find for this, what looks like to be a I don't know, 5/16 maybe? 8mm? I don't know, I'll have to check the size. So, okay, we'll get started and then we'll continue on. Deck is out. As you can see, the belt was starting to get torn up a little bit already. And that's because of this thing here. Now, even when I pull that back, that's the release. If I can hold it with my knee. See? We got a real problem there. So, yeah, this is, boy, I wish I would have ordered a new belt while I had this apart, but it's not really that big of a deal to put a new belt on the mower. So, yeah, both of these are going to be coming off, and here's the cover. We're going to leave that off. There's just no good reason for it. And the rest of the deck, all my old welding jobs and everything, still look good. They're holding on. Of course, I always blow this out with air from underneath as best I can to get all the wet grass and stuff out of it. So that'll rust out a deck real quick. And yeah, basically what I did here to hold up the up and down levers, you've got a slider lever, and I don't know if you can see that, an up and down, and then you've got well, that's the straight up and down slide, and then you've got the actuator lever here, and then you've got that front piece there, you know, that it pivots on to raise and lower the deck. And all I've done is put a bungee cord on it, and the engagement spring, I just looped it around. That also has one of these pins in it. I don't know what you want to call it, a Jesus pin or whatever. So all I did was hold that up so it doesn't interfere with dragging the deck out from under the mower, which of course you have to raise the mower up a little bit anyway, and all I used was my car jack here, so it wasn't a big deal. Actually, you could get it out without the car jack, but it makes it easier, so if you have one, you know, use it. Alright, continuing on. The pulleys are off. Now these big nuts that are on top of here, they are kind of like a self-locking nut, which means you'll probably need an air gun or an electric half-inch drive gun, or you can have somebody hold the blade underneath and you know, use a big wrench to pull it off. You can get it off, but it'd be more advantageous. Now, like I was saying, if you see the four nuts holding it in, one of them is bigger. That's the one that broke off, and same thing over here, one broke off. Now that was the first time I ever took these off, so of course it's similar metals, and God knows what will happen today, but that won't be happening again with the new one. So yeah, there it is. There's the pulleys off, and we'll continue on. Now we got the mandrels out. I left the blades on them because I don't know, these, I just put them in at the end of last year for one last cutting, so the blade should be okay. You'll need a half-inch air gun to get those bolts out too. But as you can see, this mandrel here, let me step on this to hold it straight. Ah, Christ. You can see that the bearings are not done too soon, and yes, another one broke off. And drilling and tapping these is a real pain in the ass. A lot of heat needed, and you can try to easy out them, but I haven't had much luck with that. Better luck drilling it and getting it close and putting a US bolt in there if you're doing the old ones with bearings, which like I said, these don't have any grease fittings, so basically these are just junk, and yeah, it got really hot. The collar won't even come off. Actually, neither one of them will. That's crazy. Alright, so there it is, and now at the bottom of the deck, Of course, loaded with grass where I can't clean it off, and I think I'm going to take a scraper and clean all that out and then make a mess here. But I want to get it clean, you know, right where the mounting areas are. Plus, I'd like to get a lot of that out of there anyway. So now's the time to do it. So there it is. Okay, good enough. Now we go on. We got to self-tap the blade attachment on the new mandrels, and then we'll start putting it together again. Alright, so I've cleaned or scraped most of it off. You can see how much I pulled out of there, and this is after I clean it every time I get done cutting the lawn with a long blower nozzle with compressed air, 150 pounds. But you can't get into this area of this side, you know, past everything and blow up in there unless you raise the mower up. So you see that pile, and all I did here was I used that wire brush to clean up around the mounting areas. So just wipe them down with a rag. They're nice and flat. And I was thinking of painting a little bit of that, but I think I'm going to let it go. The tractor sits inside, so it's not like it's getting wet outdoors all the time anyway. But yeah, deck looks good. No big rust, or no rust at all actually, as far as anything going through the deck. So this thing's going to have quite a bit of life left in it, as long as I keep welding it up, and well, it only breaks on the up and down raising bars in the back. They seem to have done a crap job putting it together to begin with. I think that's why they went to the LT150, which LT is light tractor. The L100, they had a big lawsuit about it because it wasn't, what they say, 22 horse. It was actually like 18 horse or 20 horse, I forget, but I got, you know, I got like $4 back from the class action suit. But anyway, they discontinued the L100, which is just a light 100, and then called it an LT150, which is the same model. I think the proper engine, bigger engine maybe, and LT is light tractor, which it's the same damn thing. I mean, there's no difference here, except maybe the engine. So, yeah, anyway, okay, let me continue. Okay, the mandrels are installed. Torque specs, in case you want to know, on these are metric. They're an 8.8 head bolt, 10 millimeter. So the torque on that is 55 Newton meters, which if you divide it by 0.738, if memory serves, you'll get 40.89, 41 foot-pounds. Just round it off to 41. That's not going to hurt anything. That's all steel down there. And then the top ones, the 5/16 by 18 are 3 hash marks on top, which is a grade 5, and that'll be for 13 foot-pounds. That's kind of a wimpy torque, but these have locking, you know, the bottom of the head has the serrated grooves in it that kind of lock it in place. I really don't want to go any more than 13 pounds on the aluminum, especially with the anti-seize, so we should be good there. So now I got to flip this thing back over and grease it up, or actually I got to put the pulleys on first, and then I'll ouch, get that in there. And I did order myself a nice new heavy-duty pistol grip grease gun. Every other grease gun I have is shit, 45, 50 years old, and they're the long lever type, so you can't hold the nipple, the grease nipple, onto the zerk fitting in case it pops out, because you're using 2 hands for the long lever grease gun. I thought this one was nice. I got it on eBay. Very high quality, very heavy duty. It was 28 bucks. Plus I got more marine grease, a tube of marine grease for it. I'm going to shoot everything up with marine grease. I've had a lot of luck on that with the bike. I don't use it on the wheel bearings, but I do use it on things like the shifter lever and brake lever and, you know, things like that. So this will provide enough heat at the RPMs that these spin to flow the marine grease. And I did put the Zerk fittings in an area where the deck didn't come up, you know, to get at them quicker, or get at them at a straight shot. Same with this one here. Now be aware, if you order these and get these, I noticed mine, the grease fittings, were both loose, and the hex on them, one of them was 8mm and the other one was 7mm. I guess they just grab a bucket of them and they don't pay attention to being the same. But tighten them up. So alright, I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to put the pulleys on and whack that down with a 1/2-inch air gun and grease them up. And then it'll go back into the mower. So that should be it. I don't know, I'll update it after I get it done, I guess. Whatever. Alright, we got a fly in the ointment here, putting it together again. I didn't notice it taking it apart because it came apart fairly easy, but these pulleys fit onto like a hexagon shape here to keep them in place. And both of my pulleys, well, this one's completely stripped out, so that means it was slipping even under the pressure of that nut. And the other one, I had to bump it a little bit with a hammer to get it off, and I looked at it again figuring that'd be okay, but it's about a halfway worn out. So I had to order some new ones. I'm not going to put this together with these. Unfortunately, I was trying to get this done before I had my eye surgery, and you know, well, what can you do? Anyway, another thing I wanted to mention is that the grease fitting on the right-hand side of the deck sticking out straight, like that one does, in either direction, it got interfered with, either here or with this, which is the part that holds the belt on, you know, keep it from flipping off. Now, fortunately, I've been in this business forever and a day, and I had a whole drawer full of Zerk fittings, grease fittings, and I found this 45 that fit perfectly, so that's shooting off into the different direction. So if you're going to do this job, be aware of that. Also, lubricate all your swivel areas for your belt actuation and the brake. In other words, these things here, they hit the pulley to make it quit spinning when you let go of the, you know, actuator to engage. So lubricate all that. I found them to be completely dry. I just used HHS 2000, that Windsor stuff. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Good shit. You can use it on a lot of different things. So anyway, we're going to stop it now. It's getting too damn hot out here anyway, and I'm about wore out. So I'm just going to throw everything on the tool cart and put everything away for today. And then next week sometime I get the pulleys. Unfortunately, I won't be able to finish this job until maybe a week or two after that, till my eyeball heals up to where I can come out here and sweat without getting it infected. So there it is, folks. We're at a stopping point, but that covers most of the basics. I think you can figure out the rest yourself if you've made it this far. So it's just a matter of putting it back together again. Anyway, have a good day. Adios.